Eat Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the flaming hot grilled cheese burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
How's your day going?
Going good, thank you, yes.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Really, guys?
What? Jackson's always has those game ready.
Let's go!
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Boise State football wide receiver Ben Ford. I've had to face some setbacks on the field this past season, but toughness isn't about staying down. It's about getting back up. I am proud to represent Lithia Ford of Boise, where you can find the largest selection of Ford trucks that are built tough and, like me, handle the hits and keep pushing forward. Come check out the incredible inventory and competitive pricing at Lithia Ford of Boise. And when you buy here, you're not just getting a truck, you're supporting Boise State athletics and Lithia Ford NIL partnerships. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
It's time for the Jacksons Postgame Show on Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a message on the Signature Roofing voice box at speakpipe.com/BNN. The BNN Postgame Show is presented by Jacksons, where you can get a 99-cent 16-ounce coffee or refill with Let's Go Rewards. Need snacks or a cold drink? Visit one of the 300 Jacksons locations today. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, RopePaint.com, and the Blue and Orange Store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Now, let's go courtside to the Sun Cruiser Studios and join BJ Rains for the Jacksons Postgame Show on Bronco Nation News.
All right, Bronco Nation News. Welcome on into the Jacksons Postgame Show. I am Nathan Carroll coming to you live from ExtraMile Arena after Boise State's 86-77 senior night victory over San Diego State. As I said, we're coming to you live from right next to ExtraMile Arena. We're not in our normal post-game location. Big media conglomerate coming from San Diego, so just wanting to be mindful and respectful of their space. So moving over to another spot for now, over closer to the arena. So different background, a little bit more movement around us. That's what's going on there. But thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to join us in the ICC YouTube chat to give us all of your thoughts on the game, all of your thoughts on the win, and what a win it was for Boise State. Comes out to a 22-5 lead, never relinquishes the lead. Wasn't always pretty, wasn't always as strong or blowouty as you would hope, but obviously when you're playing a good team like San Diego State, a win is a win, and certainly when you're grabbing a 9-point win at home, you feel really good about it. Leading the way is Drew Fielder, who finishes the game with 33 points for the Broncos. That's a career high for Drew Fielder. Alongside Fielder, Javen Buchanan pitched in 17, Dylan Andrews with 13, and Andrew Meadow chipped in 12 as well. Really strong performance for the Broncos on offense. Scored 1.26 points per possession. Really, really good performance against a very strong San Diego State defense. This offense continues to just roll at a high level in the second half of this season. And all of a sudden, you look back at these last 15 games when the offense really did start going, when they're ranking near the top of the metrics nationally in Torvik. But at one point, this team was 9-8. They're now sitting at 19-11. They've won 10 of their last 13, so 10-3 in their last 13. And Boise State looking good, looking like one of the teams you do not want to be playing down in the Mountain West tournament in Las Vegas. And of course, cannot forget the performance from RJ Keene. Absolutely right about that. RJ Keene, just 5 points tonight. Did hit a three, did his thing there, but finishes the game with 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and just did all of the RJ Keene things. Did all of the hustle plays, all of the high IQ stuff that you've come to expect from RJ Keene. Does foul out of this one, but finishes the game with 30 minutes. And at one point for most of the game, he was actually the leading minute getter. Like, Leon Rice wouldn't take him off the floor because RJ Keene was playing so well. Really strong performance, and I think this Boise State team's really started to find its identity. It's offense-focused with Javen Buchanan, with Drew Fielder, and then with Dylan Andrews and Andrew Meadow chipping in with good games here and there, and everyone else kind of finding a role around those guys, right? You bring in Dom Parolin for rebounding and defense. A.G. Nato came in and was harassing San Diego State's guards once again. A.G. Nato even contributing with a three as well. You've got Pearson Carmichael coming in, bringing shooting for the team. This team really feels like they've started to gel, and a really strong performance, really, really strong performance from the Broncos. And at that, they score 86, which means head over to Jacksons on Thursday, I believe, and go get your 75-cent fountain drink. Head on over to Taco Bell and get your free taco for the Broncos scoring 83 points tonight. They hit all the benchmarks that if you're a Boise State fan, you wanted to be able to go hit. So really great game. And Dan, right here, you read my mind, touching on what was ultimately the story of the game. 37-15 is what the official stat sheet has for rebounds on this one. 37-15. Boise State plus 25 in rebounding margin. San Diego State had just 2 offensive rebounds. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that before in a game. I'll have to do some digging when we're off air to see if that's ever happened. But Boise State just absolutely dominated the glass tonight, and that really was the difference. Boise State continued to got multiple chances, multiple opportunities, and San Diego State didn't. And that's ultimately what led to the win for the Broncos, is their dominance on the glass. If San Diego State missed a shot, they were not getting a second opportunity, whereas Boise State continued to create second chance opportunities. They had 21 second chance points in a 9-point win for the Broncos. So, you know, Leon Rice, he gets criticism. There's some fans in here who come into the chat and, you know, get down on the system he's built and the culture that he's built. But this is a Leon Rice culture win, no doubt about it. I mean, what's the one thing Leon Rice teams do at an elite level year after year after year? It's the defensive rebounding. And that really is what ultimately led to the difference there. And it was something that we highlighted a little before the game, because San Diego State, despite all their size, despite their athleticism, they haven't been an elite rebounding team this year. And it felt like this could be one of the things that helped Boise State if they were to pull off a win. And ultimately, when you're finishing plus 22 on the boards, you're going to win a lot of ball games. Can't forget to mention as well, the Broncos shoot 48% from three, go 12 of 25. When this team gets hot from three, this offense is borderline unstoppable. They're really, really tough to beat. And ultimately, the only thing that slowed down Boise State's offense tonight was the turnovers. They had 17 turnovers. At one point in the second half, it was a 20-point lead, and the Aztecs get back into the game in large part because Boise State just continued to turn the ball over, couldn't break the press. They were having all sorts of issues with that, and certainly that's going to be the point of emphasis for Leon Rice and this coaching staff going forward. But at the end of the day, the rebounding superseded. It was too much for the turnover margin, and the Broncos were able to get a victory, 86-77. Big picture, what does this mean for Boise State? Well, it puts you in really good position to get that 6 seed going down into Vegas, but even gives you a realistic chance at the 5 seed. Looking at Torvik's Concast tool, they give the Broncos about a 35% chance to finish in the top 5 now. You need a little bit of help. You need Grand Canyon or Nevada to take losses, which certainly could happen. But Boise State now has a chance to really climb up the standings here. They've been sitting in that 8 spot for a little bit now, and now the chance to climb. And I think even with a loss to Colorado State, who you're likely going to be competing for that 6 seed with, there is an outcome where if Colorado State loses to New Mexico tonight, which let me pull up the score on that one to see where that is. I haven't seen where that finished, but if Colorado State loses to, that game's tomorrow. So if Colorado State loses to New Mexico tomorrow, Boise State can lose to Colorado State and still get the 6th seed, depending on tiebreakers elsewhere. So, but all in all, really good win for Boise State. If you're a Boise State fan, I think it's hard to complain too much about the results on this one because you're able to take down a really good San Diego State team, and there was a lot of encouraging signs in this one. None bigger than Drew Fielder's offensive performance. Just completely dominant tonight. Got to the free throw line at will. Finished the game shooting 16 for 18 from the free throw line. Also chipped in 9 rebounds. It really was a fantastic Drew Fielder game, and he led the Broncos to victory. And I come back to, again, Boise State finished with 1.26 points per possession. That's a really, really strong number. I mean, if you're consistently getting 1.26, that puts you in the realm of the top offenses in the country. And so to do that against the San Diego State defense, that's really, really good. Phenomenal performance, and this offense just continues to play at a really high level. They're just so potent with Dylan Andrews running thing, when Javen Buchanan scoring, when Drew Fielder scoring. It yields good results for the Broncos. And how about, by the way, Drew Fielder, 33 points, a game after not scoring at all against Fresno State, which credit to this team for their versatility and their ability to get scoring from different players, to go from 0 to 33 in back-to-back games. I haven't seen many like that, but really strong performance from him tonight. Against Fresno State, the offense took what came to them, and they were doubling Drew Fielder early and often, which meant other guys had to step up. Tonight, there weren't a lot of touches or weren't a lot of doubles against Drew Fielder. San Diego State made a point. They wanted to trap often. They wanted to put pressure on the primary ball handlers, and that's going to lead with how many ball screens this offense runs and how many ball screens that Drew Fielder in particular sets. It's going to lead to a lot of good looks and a lot of one-on-one opportunities for Drew Fielder. So really strong performance. This offense shows that they're able to get buckets and win in multiple ways, which, again, if you're a Boise State fan, I think you have to be really encouraged with the performance of this team. And like I said, they've started to find their form. Another note, Pearson Carmichael does play tonight, gets 7 minutes, took 3 shots, hit 1 3. It wasn't a standout performance from Pearson Carmichael in any sort of way, but what it was is Pearson Carmichael back on the floor. Didn't play against Fresno State. Sounds like it was a sprained ankle. We didn't know how long he was going to be out for. Was he going to be out for the Mountain West tournament? He comes back tonight. Good to see Pearson Carmichael back in the lineup. Again, they didn't need him tonight. They were able to rely on Javen Buchanan and Drew Fielder scoring wise, but it's good to know that you've got Peanut in your back pocket if you're going to need some help on offense here in the future, which, by the way, Drew Fielder, Jamin Buchanan, 50 points between the two of them. I can't remember the last time two Boise State players combined for 50 points. I mean, my guess is maybe that game at New Mexico. I know Dylan Andrews had 33 in that game, but really strong performance from Boise State's best players. And you've got those four guys in double digits, Fielder, Andrews, Buchanan, and Meadow. And then RJ Keene has 5, A.G. Nato has 3, Pearson Carmichael has 3. So you've got 4 guys scoring nearly all your points and then just 11 points from everyone else on the team. This team has found who their best offensive players are. It was something earlier in the season when we were more critical of the offense. There were a lot of games where it seemed like the best players weren't getting touches. No longer an issue now. The best players game in and game out are getting the ball and they're getting a chance to score at a high level and score consistently. There's very few games where it feels like some of the best players are only getting 4 or 5 shots. They're able to pretty consistently get the ball, and I can't say it enough. This offense is rolling. All the metrics have said it for a while now. The issue has been the defense. The defense started really strong tonight. Some issues late, in part because of some of the turnovers. San Diego State, let me see if I can pull up their points off turnovers. I guess just 13 points off turnovers, but when you turn the ball over 17 times, you're going to put San Diego State in a position to succeed. So, this might be the loss that knocks San Diego State out of potentially getting an at-large bid for the tournament. This was a team that by most metrics was just on the outside looking in coming into tonight, really needed to take care of business tonight if they were going to work their way into an at-large bid. And at this point for San Diego State, I think their only hope of an at-large bid is win their last game in the regular season and then go to the Mountain West tournament and hope that's enough. But truth be told, I think that that's probably it for San Diego State. And I'm sure Bronco Nation will be ecstatic to hear that this win tonight's the one that knocked out San Diego State. I know there's no love lost between the Aztecs and the Broncos. Some questions from the ICC YouTube chat. Does Fielder have another year of eligibility? He does. He is just a junior. So, unless he were to leave in the portal, he's going to be back next year. Was not honored tonight, which is, I believe, part of why Dominic Parolin got the start. That's something that we can clarify with Leon Rice in post game. But Dominic Parolin, a senior, he'll be moving on to what's next in his career after this. But Drew Fielder should be back for the Broncos again next year. Was Peanut hurt? Was hurt against Fresno State. Played a little bit tonight. I don't know how the ankle was, whether they just had him on a minutes restriction or the offense was working without him, so they went in other directions. Nevada down big to Wyoming. Yeah, this is a score that I had seen earlier in the evening when I was looking around. I believe Wyoming was up 21 at halftime, which is significant for Boise State because it's not a guarantee, but I believe there still is technically a small chance that Boise State can leap up into the 4 seed and get a bye. They needed a lot of chaos to happen, but essentially the first domino to getting there was beat San Diego State, and the second domino is I think they needed Wyoming to beat Nevada. So it's so unlikely that we haven't really talked about it much, but if Wyoming does beat Nevada, there might be a chance of Boise State even getting a bye heading down to Vegas, which would be huge. Would be massive for this team. Fielder was feisty tonight. Yeah, he's a lively player, and he and the San Diego State players were getting a little chippy, no doubt about it. But he's a lively player, definitely brings the energy. Had no chance at guarding Fielder. I mean, when you have 33, how many people do? The double T call was atrocious. Yeah, there were a couple of officiating moments tonight that I thought we're a little suspect either way, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it's 2 guys going for the ball, or if anything, give them both a common foul. It was something that watching it live, I definitely thought it was a tech, if not a flagrant on Magoon Guath. Pulled up the stream, saw some of the replays, and it looked to me like a either or. The flagrant foul on Andrew Meadow was I'll say interesting to me. Not that I don't think it should have been a flagrant foul. I think that's a 50-50. He's going for a box out, hits him hard when he's not looking. If you want to call that a flagrant, that's fine. But immediately my brain goes back to in the first matchup between these teams, Farrell Compton shoulder checks Drew Fielder from behind with the ball nowhere near and doesn't even get a flagrant 1. That was a play I thought could have been a flagrant 2. So that was definitely a moment tonight where I saw that and was like, well, if that flagrant 1 or flagrant 2 goes Boise State's way in the first matchup, maybe they win that one. Whereas this one, definitely kind of closer, definitely ticky-tack, and yet the call goes San Diego State's way there. But some weird officiating in general. I mean, San Diego State went like the first 8 or 9 minutes of the game without a single foul call, and then I believe we're called for like 15 or 16 fouls in the second half. The officiating changed at halftime from we're going to let him play to we're going to call everything, which it helps Boise State for being a good free throw shooting team. They end up shooting 79% from the free throw line. Just weird officiating game, I would say. There were a couple bad calls in San Diego State's favor, a couple of bad calls in Boise State's favor. I wouldn't say there was like necessarily an advantage one way or the other, but definitely a weird night. Yeah, I thought it was probably shoulder to shoulder. Is there a stat that tracks up layup percentage? I feel like Boise State misses a ton of them. There is actually. It'd take me a little bit of time to pull it up, so maybe when we head to break, I'll pull it up on my second screen here. But there is a stat where you can track shots at the rim and see how a team's shooting. They've had issues with it, but I think it is also one of those just sort of selection or survivorship bias things. I think that's survivorship bias, where it's you just remember the ones that they miss because when they make them, you expect them to make them. It doesn't stand out, but when they miss the bunny, you recognize it. But speaking of missed bunnies, I thought the 2 turning points for this game tonight, and there were a few you could argue, but 2 in particular. Boise State gets out to a 22-5 lead. San Diego State in the first half starts slowly battling back, and they have all of the momentum in the world, and Miles Bird misses a dunk at one end of the floor after the turnover. Boise State gets the rebound. They go on a 9-2 run immediately after that. Likewise, in the second half, Heidi has a bunny at the rim. It's not contested. It looked like he was going to try to dunk it, but mistimed it, so tries to go for the layup. Misses. Boise State gets the rebound. Boise State went on a 12-0 run immediately after that. So 2 key missed buckets, 2 easy buckets for San Diego State that immediately leads to combined 21-2 runs for Boise State. For a San Diego State team that's had issues on offense, it just felt like when you miss an easy one like that, it takes the air out of the ball. It takes out all of your momentum that you were starting to build. And Boise State did a great job of San Diego State extended an olive branch, gave them a lifeline, and Boise State took advantage of it in both situations. So two moments in particular I thought were significant. And then the dagger at the end of the game was San Diego State. They're doubling, they're trapping, trying to force a turnover. A.G. Nato drives, misses the layup, but Drew Fielder there with an offensive rebound. Again, Boise State dominates the boards tonight, plus 22 on the boards, gets the dunk and a foul, goes to the free throw line for his, at the time, 31st point of the game, finished with 33. That was the moment that felt like it summed up the game. Like, even though Boise State wasn't able to convert the bucket, they get a rebound, they get a foul, and they go to the free throw line to finish it off. And again, really strong performance from the Boise State Broncos. And they're now winners of, I believe they're up to 4 wins in a row since losing to Utah State and Logan. There we go. Oh, maybe. Sorry, some technical difficulties. It said that my microphone was unplugged. Let's see. Are you guys still able to hear me, or did I go out? Did my audio go out? Let's try that. How's that sound? Are we better there? Just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you guys can hear me now. But we should be all right. We should be plugged in and good to go. Okay, we're good. We're good now. Thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah, we're courtside here. People walking around. I think somebody might have bumped the microphone and accidentally knocked it out of place there. So hopefully we're all good and everything's good to go. But a major part of this win, if you're Boise State, is if you do get the 6th seed, the path that you're looking at now, you've got San Jose State, which is a team that you've already beaten this year and looked comfortable in both the wins. If you win that game, you get New Mexico. That's the likeliest option, is New Mexico, a team that you've shown that you can beat. You have the series sweep on then. And now you get a San Diego State team who you just showed that you can beat and beat somewhat convincingly here at home. At that point, you dodge, to me, the 3 teams you really want to dodge. I think UNLV is a bad matchup. you've pretty much guaranteed you aren't going to get them with that win tonight. I think Grand Canyon's a bad matchup. They're pretty much locked into the 4 or the 5 seed. So if you get the 6 seed, you're dodging them all the way. And then obviously you want to dodge Utah State, who's been a bad matchup for this Boise State team and is just in general the best team in the conference, which does present a question of if you have the chance to get the 5 seed against Colorado State, is there some chicanery going on, or maybe they say, look, we're not getting an at-large anyways. Let's just take it easy for this one, take some rest going down to Vegas so we can guarantee ourselves the 6 seed. But I've been saying it for a few weeks now. The ideal spot to be for this Boise State team is the 6 seed. If you get to that bottom half of the bracket, you put yourself in a position where you get teams that you match up really well against. Whereas if you're, say the 8 seed, you're getting probably UNLV in the first round, which has been a really bad matchup for you. Which I guess I don't think UNLV can fall to the 9. But anyways, you're getting Utah State immediately. You're getting Grand Canyon immediately. I think that you got to be encouraged if you can get the 6 seed. Like, that's your maximum chance for this season to turn around. And there was a comment up here saying, like, could Leon Rice turn the season around? And I think if you get the 6 seed, you get some good matchups and a chance to potentially be the bid stealer. It's not a spot Boise State's been in, but have the chance to be the bid stealer, not only from San Diego State tonight, but could steal a bid from Utah, or from not Utah State, from New Mexico as well. Question here: UNLV beating Utah State, but it would hurt Boise State, correct? Great question. I believe that UNLV. Let me pull up the standings real quick. I believe UNLV is currently sitting a half game back. Yeah, so ideally you do want UNLV to lose at least one more. You need to be above UNLV in the standings, because UNLV is going to have tie break on them. So ideally you want UNLV to lose one of these last 2, which it looks like they're underdogs in both of those games. So certainly possible. That game right now still in the first half, but UNLV does have a 7-point lead. Utah State just 13 points 15 minutes into the first half. Offense needing to get going there a little bit. So but yeah, ultimately, like, if you can avoid UNLV, if you can avoid GCU, if you can avoid Utah State, I think everyone else in this conference is someone that you feel somewhat confident that you're going to be able to beat, or that you have beaten, right? Like, I think it's all winnable matchups, and those are the 2 especially, that if you can dodge those teams as long as possible, you feel really good about this team's chances. And if you get them in the final, like, you'll have to beat them if you want to be a tournament team, no doubt. But this team's playing really, really good basketball right now. It's particularly on the offensive side, been really impressed with what they've done. I thought the offense just looks so much more intentional, right? Obviously, it helps when you shoot 48% from 3, but there's just little things that this offense is doing that tells me that they've started to figure themselves out more. There was a moment in the first half where they run a really nice set with A.G. Nato and Drew Fielder, where essentially dribble handoff, which forces the switch. Drew Fielder gets onto a guard and then able to work the guard, get into the paint, and then Drew Fielder does it himself, fakes a pass, which leads to the weak side help abandoning to try to get to the passing lane, and then just scores right over the guard. So really nice work there from Drew Fielder, and I think the offense is playing at a much higher level. We are going to have Abe Jackson coming on here in a little bit. We'll also have interviews coming on later. We're going to head to a quick 30-second break, and then we will see you guys immediately after.
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
With all the people that
it's
starting to clean up.
Yeah, San Diego State brings a crowd, and we've got we've got a lot of cleanup with senior night. There's a lot more people around the court, so we got a little bit of an interesting setup here. So Abe Jackson joined us. A big win for the Broncos tonight. Absolutely big win. Definitely, this is a team that there's a good chance you're going to see them in Vegas in the Mountain West tournament if you're to make it to the final. What did you see out of this team tonight that has you most encouraged?
The defense, especially in that first half. I mean, San Diego State looked like they couldn't do anything. The shot clock was winding down. They were taking fadeaways, challenge shots all over the place. I think only 27 points in the first half for a team that averages 77 coming in. So I think they hit right on their average. Yeah, 77, and that's what San Diego State was averaging in conference. So Broncos did an amazing job in that first half defensively and then just crushed them on the boards. I mean, I can't remember a time where the Broncos had a 15 rebound edge against the San Diego State team in a 12-2 on the offensive glass and 21 second chance points. I mean, that's what won them the game. I mean, they shot a good percentage, and then when you get all those extra attempts because of the offensive rebounds, you're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely dominated on the glass. You said it, just 2 offensive rebounds from San Diego State. I don't know if I've ever seen a team get held to just 2 offensive rebounds. You talked about the defense did a really strong job in the first half in particular. Some issues late with turnovers. Did have 17 turnovers. It seemed like had some trouble with San Diego State's ball pressure and with San Diego State's press in the second half there. What did you make of what you saw in the second half with the press and some of the issues there? And I mean, you've got the experience. How's that something that they could get?
Well,
fixed?
San Diego State, I mean, they're not as good defensively as they have been in the past this season, but they're still a very good defensive team with long, athletic guys who can get after you pressing. And, the Broncos had some turnovers. They had 17, which is quite a few, and a lot of them came toward the end. But they did enough to hold them off. I mean, we've seen games that the Broncos have where they've had big leads, and then it's gotten all the way down to them being behind. So the Broncos did enough to keep them at bay, and a lot of it was at the free throw line. I mean, they went 4 minutes and 30 seconds without a field goal. They made some free throws, but without a field goal before Dylan Andrews hit that big three. And you could just hear the sigh of relief from the crowd when that field goal went in, when that three went through the hoop. So great job by the Broncos holding on to the lead and getting a solid 9-point win, and 10 out of 13 now. Colorado State is either won 6 or 7 in a row, I think, coming in. So 2 of the hottest teams in the league right now.
Yeah, and that game likely going to be for the 6 or 7 seed. Put you in a more advantageous spot.
There's a lot going on. Nevada's losing to Wyoming, and then the last seed, then that would tie Nevada with Boise State. And as of right now, they probably have the tiebreaker because they beat Utah State. But the last game of the season would be Utah State and New Mexico, and they would have the same record if Utah State loses. And so then if New Mexico beats Utah State and we're tied with Nevada, then we would have the tiebreaker over Nevada because we beat New Mexico twice. I don't know if that made any sense to people, but there's going to be a lot of movement, I think, in these next couple of days. The Broncos, I think, could be as high as maybe a 5 and could be down at a 7. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be chaotic, and we said I think there's a chance Boise State can get up to that 5, but they needed chaos, and it started with Wyoming needs to beat Nevada tonight, which I think last I saw that game was down to a 10-point lead. Nevada slowly chipping away.
Did you just look at it recently? Because when I walked over, it was like a 12 or 13. So it's
it looks like back up to 14.
Back up to 14, and UNLV's up 20-13. I'll tell you, UNLV. Man, there's some teams that I don't want to see. There's a guy I don't want to see in the tournament. That's Gibbs Lawhorn. A few years ago, Jalen House for New Mexico just completely took over the tournament and single-handedly beat the Broncos, beat everybody to win the title. And they had to play on Wednesday. He just was the hottest player in the gym for 4 nights in a row. And Gibbs Lawhorn, they do an amazing job at UNLV taking down all the Rebel stuff, changing out the floor, taking down the banners. So you really don't even know it's UNLV. But it's still their home building, and they got the hottest player in the league right now.
Well, and especially for scores like that, a lot of times it can just be routine, right? Getting to wake up in your own bed or have your typical meal, all those little things that I'm with you. I said there's 3 teams you don't want to play or you want to wait as long as possible to play. It's UNLV, it's Grand Canyon, it's Utah State. And that's where I think, kind of joked, like if you have a chance to get the 5, do you almost just kind of slide back to the 6 on purpose so that you're dodging likely Utah State and Grand Canyon? I know Leon Rice would never.
There's no way that happened. I mean, with how kind of crazy these last couple games are going to be and just the moving of the seedings, we'll have to see on Sunday when all the games are done. But the Broncos have a chance. I mean, I really they do. I mean, we've seen glimpses of this type of full game in other games, usually in first halves, and then the second half, they kind of, things change. But this is one of the first times where you get a good first half, you got a great second half, and the shots were going down, your rebounding was doing well. If you want to nitpick, there was quite a few turnovers. 17's a lot of turnovers, but you beat San Diego State by 9.
Yeah.
I mean, with a last second Not a last second, but a deep three that actually went in. So it easily could have been double digits. Just a great solid win.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about, like, you don't want to see Dre Gibbs Lawhorn down in Vegas. I think a lot of teams don't want to see Drew Fielder down in Vegas. Has 33 points, 9 rebounds tonight. Coming off a game where he didn't score at all, absolutely dominates San Diego State. What did you see in particular from Drew Fielder's performance tonight?
Well, I mean, he was all over the glass. I mean, 9 rebounds, and NATO out-jumped him for the last rebound at the end that would have given Fielder. And I think I even saw Drew kind of be like, like I was like right there for my double-double. But 9 rebounds. And when you go to the line, when you have a big guy and a point guard who can hit free throws at a really high percentage like the Broncos do, you're going to score a lot of points because those are the two positions that you're going to get fouled a lot. You're going to get fouled rebounding a lot and trying to take it inside by Fielder, and you're going to take it by putting pressure on the guards by Dylan Andrews. And when those two guys can shoot free throws at a high percentage, you're going to put up a lot of points, and they can too. I mean, Fielder had a really efficient 33.
Yeah, he did. And again, I think the ability for him to have 0 against Fresno, a game that Boise State wins in large part because of Jaden Buchanan's 26, and then turn around and score 33. It's one of the more dangerous Boise State offenses I can remember because they've got 3 or even 4 guys, if you want to throw in Andrew Meadow, who on any given night can go off for 20 points. And more often than not, they've had at least 1 or 2 guys show up and play at a really high level. Abe, any final thoughts from the victory tonight over San Diego State?
I don't know. Boise State's pretty hot. 10 out of 13. A couple of those losses were overtime too, so it easily could have been more than that. So the Broncos are playing well. They got to go to Fort Collins, where Colorado State has won, I think, 7 in a row. But they're going to be playing tomorrow against New Mexico, I believe. So that's going to be one of the teams that Boise State's going to be battling with for seeding in the Mountain West.
Well, and if there's still a lot that can happen, but if Colorado State loses that game to New Mexico, I believe there's a scenario where Boise State can lose to Colorado State and still lock up a 6 seed, given some of the wonky tiebreakers that happen. So big game to watch for Bronco Nation for tomorrow night, CSU New Mexico. But for tonight, enjoy the victory. And Abe, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Abe Jackson, everybody. The former Boise State player turned Boise State broadcaster legend. No one reps the blue and orange quite like he does, and great analysis on Boise State's win tonight. Be sure to stick around. We are going to have interviews from players, interviews from Leon Rice. I'm assuming that one of those players will be Drew Fielder. When you have 33 points, I think that you earn the right to get to talk to the media immediately afterwards. But stick around. We'll have those interviews coming. We're going to do one more quick commercial break here, and then we'll be back for more discussion here on the Jacksons Postgame Show.
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Boise State football wide receiver Ben Ford. I've had to face some setbacks on the field this past season, but toughness isn't about staying down. It's about getting back up. I am proud to represent Lithia Ford of Boise, where you can find the largest selection of Ford trucks that are built tough and, like me, handle the hits and keep pushing forward. Come check out the incredible inventory and competitive pricing at Lithia Ford of Boise. And when you buy here, you're not just getting a truck, you're supporting Boise State athletics and Lithia Ford NIL partnerships. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
time for the Jacksons Postgame Show on Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the ICCU YouTube chat, or leave us a message on the Signature Roofing voice box at speakpipe.com/BNN. The BNN Postgame Show is presented by Jacksons, where you can get a 99-cent 16-ounce coffee or refill with Let's Go Rewards. Need snacks or a cold drink? Visit one of the 300 Jacksons locations today. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, RopePaint.com, and the Blue and Orange Store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Now, let's go courtside to the Sun Cruiser Studios and join BJ Rains for the Jacksons Postgame Show on Bronco Nation News.
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
It's the all-wheel drive event at Lithia Ford of Boise. From hunting trips to ski trips to trips to Grandma's house. Nobody does AWD like LFB. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Eat Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.